Hey, good morning, Tessa.
Good morning.
Excited for the week. Good morning, goeiemorgen Suid-Afrika. Welcome to Meanwhile in Mzansi, your favorite news show.
Where it's kind of news, kind of not.
And what a rough week so far. It's going to be a sad episode
Yeah.
because our country is riddled and ridiculed by bribers. People that think they can take the law and the money in their own hand. And we're starting off with the Independent Development Trust that got busted yesterday for bribing Pieter Louis Meiburg with 60,000 rand. Now 800 million rand oxygen deal, which is so stupid because oxygen is anyway free. So why are we paying 800 million rand? Who knows? But they wanted to give me 60 million rand. That is shocking.
60,000 rand.
60,000 rand.
In a designer's handbag. I think the handbag is worth more than the 60,000 rand.
Normally, when you bribe, that I read about bribing, you give 10% of the deal. So that means like 80 million rand at least.
Yes.
For Pieter Louis.
Yes, more or less. But I think that it's very symbolic, the designer bag, Dior. Die or take the money. Die or take the money. Speaking about bribery, the Boerland Rugby Union had a whistleblower, literal and figurative.
Are you kidding me?
Whistleblower. The whistleblower was being bribed by a ref manager, sending a voice note telling him further instructions will follow, and then that whistleblower blew the whistle. I think it's very poignant, poetic.
Not my game, not rugby. You're telling me there's been blowing in rugby? A lot of blowing in Boerland, man. It's unfair. Please, guys, stop it. Let's play the game. Stop whistling, stop blowing, and just focus on enjoying the game. You see, these things make me upset, especially rugby. It's so close to me.
Yes.
And anyway, excuse me, Louis Liebenberg. I mean, I don't know if he's playing rugby in prison, but he's in prison for a while now. He stole a lot of diamonds, stole a lot of cash from innocent people. But he got in an altercation yesterday with a female judge, and he told her, "You sound like my mother-in-law."
That's funny because he's running into a problem with the law, and then his mother-in-law, like
the justice is sweet. Shame.
My mother-in-law is wonderful. She's
Of course. Yeah.
Amazing.
All our mothers-in-law. I mean, mine as well. She's a little perfect.
Yeah.
You little
gem.
I can't even think of a word for that little devil. Anyway, some good news. The lottery.
Some good news. The lottery has been won. How much was it?
124 million rand.
What would you do with 124 million rand?
I would just put it with the rest. Also, the petrol price is going down with 8 cents. 28 cents? What does it say? 28 cents.
28 cents.
I'll buy a petrol station with that money.
And I'm telling you, you can go a long way with 28 cents.
Yeah. If you decide not to drive 5 kilometers,
yes,
that's almost 3 rand that you save.
Exactly.
Baby steps, guys. That's how you save in this country.
Well, another feel-good story. The Johannesburg City Library is reopening after a few years. It cost them 35 million rand to renovate.
Wait, what?
35 million rand.
And that's not a bribe?
I think it's... No. Well, we don't know yet.
Sounds like a bribery. So wait, are you telling me 35 million rand to open up the doors?
To reopen the library, 105 million books in there.
Wow.
No,
105 or 1.5?
I've got very special memories from going to the library. It's where I learned to photocopy. It's the first, plagiarism.
Yeah.
It's where you used to do it.
That's why I learned to be quiet. But also, are you telling me there's 1.5 million books, but there's 60 million people in South Africa? There's not even one book per person. That doesn't sound right.
Well, everybody doesn't have to show up at the same time. I think
that's the problem
is...
with this country is no one reads. Anyway.
Yes, let's move on. Speaking about books, we are speaking to the writer, the author of the book, I Used to Bribe, But I'm Never Going to Bribe Again, by the author, Michael McBride. And he's going to speak to us today about his recovery journey from being a serial bribe artist to never ever bribing again.
Morning! So good to see you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, Michael. Tell us, you've been to prison for bribing. How did you get caught?
Unfortunately, I did go to prison. Let's just say it was my decision. Because as a briber, it's always the law and the power is in your hands. So I decided to get caught so that I can go to prison and write the story. Because that's how stories work. You need to live it and then write it.
Yes. And the word bribe, you actually have worked out an acronym.
Yeah.
What does it stand for?
Yeah, the first word, B, stands for bribe, because that is where it starts and that is where it ends. The word R stands for reconciliation, because I had to go back to everyone that I bribed and say sorry. And I had to go back to everyone that I bribed and be like, you still owe me money.
Yes.
It's still a business. The I stands for there's no I in team because I bribe alone. There's no team bribery with me. Then the second B stands for ballistics. Never use ballistics. I didn't want to use force. No one got killed when I bribed them. But there were some close calls, if you can see in chapter 3. And then the E just stands for excellence. Because I was so good that I never got caught for 10 years. And then after 10 years, unfortunately, I had a little slip up. But for 10 years, that is how I was excellent. And now I'm here to hopefully get this book sold to make a movie. So I don't know if you can maybe connect me with someone like Nico Skippers or the big names, Josh Rouse, all the big directors out there.
Well, I'm sure if they're watching and they find this to be interesting, maybe, you never know. There's line
something I can do for you to give me
to be careful always. This is an example of what not to do. If you remember your book chapter 1.
I'm trying to say, do you want to go for a coffee and give me that email of that famous director that can help me make a movie of my book?
Right, if that book doesn't help you to steer away from getting bribed, then make sure you watch this video that we found of some historians taking us through the history of bribery in South Africa, how it developed.
1652. That is when South Africa got its first bribery situation. It was Monsieur Jan van Riebeeck that docked in Cape Town, and the ship was too big to dock. And then he found a lovely lady by the name of Krotua. And him and Krotua had the first bribe interaction. Krotua charged him a certain amount, and she said, hey, Mr. Jean, you can park here with your big boat. And that is how this South Africa was discovered, on the back of a bribery. 1752, we forward to.
Yes, the end of the war, and also the end of the French Revolution.
Yeah.
And then what happened was cattle. Cattle was being used to bribe for whatever the farmers needed.
Yeah.
And then fast forward 50 years later.
Yeah. We got a certain Monsieur Delarey, Cours Delarey, army guy, big fighter. He actually won that first war in 1852 because of a bribery. He went to Mr. Shaka Zulu and he said, hey, let me win the war and I give you some land. And Shaka said, hey, 2 thumbs up. Then we go to 2010 with the soccer.
2010 with the soccer, lots of bribery happening there to get the actual Soccer World Cup here. And as a result, we've got beautiful stadiums, so we can't really complain.
Yeah.
That was on a larger scale. But then just the other day,
2025, we forward to today. And unfortunately, a lot of those soccer stadiums are empty today, but it still makes for beautiful pictures on the Instagram and TikTok challenges if you need to go there. But unfortunately, 2025, that is where we are. The government of national unity, everything is a bribery. You can't get a small soccer stadium built. If you need to go to Home Affairs, get an ID, get a license, everything has to happen with a little extra money paid underneath the table.
No.
That is a quick history of South Africa and the bribery. Talk about bribery and how not to get caught. Let's talk about whistles. Today we're selling you the new all Whistle 5000. It's a whistleblower's whistle that's so quiet you won't get caught and you won't get killed. Get yourself one now on www.whistleblowerstayalive.co.za. Tessa, beautiful show, beautiful day. Let's hope the bribery goes down after this education.
yes, I hope that people are inspired. And if you're driving with a Coke or a KFC in your car, don't hand it out when you get pulled over.
Don't. It's going to be tempting, but just don't. Okay. You must drive safe to Durban. I know you're on your way to Durban to go to do the, what's that, the new competition? The sewage mile. What are the new swimming things?
It's a tandem bicycle competition for couples. And they drive together. So
Yeah, you drive in the water, in the sewage water with the bicycles.
You have to go through it all.
So
yes.
innovative. South Africa, have a good week, good weekend. And remember, always wear a seatbelt. Tot ziens.